apply for the honorable and beautifulest mummy.
Order, order, order. Have the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, bailiff. You may return to the inner sanctums of the courthouse. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Leilani of Barbados. The bailiff is fast asleep, cannot hear anything that we're saying, and so this is why I wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of this Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Her name is Ghislaine. It's pronounced Ghislaine.
Ghislaine has to answer.
The verdict is out. Oh my God. So she's indicted on 6 counts. I'm not going to go into all the details of like what Ghislaine did. I don't really want to trigger people because it's a very horrible thing what went on there. But basically 6 counts and she was guilty of 5. Let's start with Ghislaine Maxwell. She's a very interesting character. So she's 60 years old now, and she was held in July 2020 without bail. She pleaded not guilty to the 6 counts. As soon as Epstein was oofed himself, or whatever you want to call it, in prison, she went into hiding for a year, and she was found in New Hampshire. Now, the defense is saying that her defense is saying that she was this poor little woman whose boyfriend kept secrets from her and she had no idea what was going on. They're also saying it's a proxy case to the Jeffreyepstein case because, of course, no longer can convict him. So the next best thing, I guess, right? The fact of the matter is that Ghislaine organized the logistics of it.
So several times I was in the car with her and she would ask the driver to stop the car. And she'd dash across to the school or the park or wherever she was going. And she would like write down her phone number for a child, a young girl. And then I'd see that child at the house. And she'd say, they're auditioning. You know, I found a model in the park.
There's a lady called Maria Farmer, right? And she was an art student. And Jeffreyepstein fell in love with her art. She was the first person to actually report Jeffreyepstein to the FBI.
But in a pattern that would be set in the decades ahead, her complaint was ignored.
They just kept it all quiet, put it in the bottom drawer.
She was working for Jeffreyepstein as his art collector. Like, she was finding art for him. He was in love with her eye for art and like what she saw. Her little sister was also assaulted. And once she found out about her little sister being assaulted by both of them, right, Ghislaine and Jeffrey, she went to the FBI.
Yeah. I think about it all the time. I do. And it hurts a lot. And I never had children because of it. Because I didn't feel like they would be safe.
When she said that she didn't even have children because she was afraid for their safety, and so now she has no children, that broke me. That really, really reached me. Because she was in hiding. From the time she reported that to the FBI, she went into hiding and lost her career, lost everything because Ghislaine kept threatening her. What is the outcome for the royal family, Prince Andrew?
That island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool.
What is the outcome for all the famous people that were associated with Ghislaine Maxwell? We have Geraldo Rivera here, who has supported Ghislaine throughout this trial, said her accommodation was not suitable in the prison. We have Bill Clinton, who had her here at his daughter's wedding, front and center. We have Elon Musk, who said, she photobombed me at Vanity Fair Oscar party, was there with Tallulah Riley. Don't know Ghislaine at all. Why do you think it should be a bigger story? What I find really funny is that she has all this money to do this thing that she did, and yet she keeps dressing like Christina Aguilera before Christina Aguilera fired her like wardrobe assistant. Like, she keeps dressing like so weird and cheap, and it's like, I know this is like different times, it's like in the 90s or whatever, but like, seriously. Interestingly enough, Alan Dershowitz comes on the scene because he was named as one of the people who attended these parties in this island retreat. And I know a lot about Alan Dershowitz. I used to have in like earphones all the time listening to his cases when I was in school because he had really, really good well, he did the O.J. Simpson case. He was on the team for O.J. Simpson, which was a landmark case, and everyone had to study it at some point. So he's also a law professor at Harvard, and he's an analyst, So he had a lot to say about Virginia Giuffre, and so she sued him for slander, right? Because he said that she wasn't really even a target. She was actually like a madam too, because she brought girls there too. And I was like, oh my God. And it's so sad, because I did look at an interview with Virginia Roberts, and I felt like she had really been affected by something in her life. Like, you can see that she's struggling a lot.
Prince Andrew should be panicking at the moment, because Ghislaine doesn't really care about anyone else but Ghislaine.
And they didn't use her as an expert witness. So that was what Dershowitz was saying, was that, like, they didn't use her as a witness because she would not have been a good witness, because she was so messed up and entangled in this whole thing. But how was she entangled? I thought she was just a young girl that just came there and, but he's saying otherwise. And I can see why they wouldn't put her on the stand, only because she looks very disturbed. Like, she's had a really hard life.
To them.
And
we were just another toy to be passed around.
He said she doesn't seem credible. But her Wikipedia says that she was a streetwalker for a long time. She had a history of abuse. She had a history of grooming girls for this other man who was a 60-something-year-old man in Miami who sex trafficked women out of Latin America, and so on and so forth. When she met Ghislaine was when she was working for the first time in a stable job. She had got back in touch with her father and then was living with him, and he was working at one of the Trump hotels, and then she got to work at that in the spa, but she was unqualified, so she was studying. And it says here in the Wikipedia page that she was reading a book about massage, and Miss Maxwell came to her and said, "What are you reading? I think it'd be really nice if you actually came and worked for us. You don't need any qualifications, you don't need anything." And I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like that conversation never happened. What book are you reading? Hi, I'm in a spa. I'm in a literal spa. A massage therapist wannabe is reading a book studying how to massage. And I'm really going to go up to her and say, "Come to this island. You need no qualifications. Fly out. We'll flew you out." I just feel like that didn't happen. I feel like maybe the conversation went otherwise. But anyhow, they bonded somehow on trafficking. So, you cannot blame Virginia because she was underage. Let's get that straight. You cannot blame her for anything that she was used to doing, that she had been taught to do, or that she was comfortable doing, because she should not have been comfortable without her parents to sanction anything at that age. So they go out there, and of course she's the only one that has a picture right now that we can see that she actually was intermingling with these people, including Prince Andrew. And speaking about Prince Andrew, okay, so this is what goes back. So that Ghislaine is actually English, right? She's from England, and she's the daughter of a media agent, a big media agent. So she's quite well connected. But how well connected was she, though? Because she has all these people. Literally, she can say to you, "Oh, do you want that done? Let me just make a call to Geraldo. You want that done? I'll make a call to Donald Trump. Oh, you want that done? I'll call the bench that I was sitting on, where the Queen is also sit on, to have her camping picnic breakfast or whatever at Balmoral Castle. I'll call the bench. The bench knows me very well, I was sitting on it. I have all of these connections." The bench will be like, "Bitch." Not today, bitch. I mean, she's just everywhere.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
So I find that really funny how he says he has a disorder where he can't sweat. But it's so believable the way he talks. Like, I feel like, Piers Morgan said about the sweating, a lot of people must be sweating. And of course, he's referring back to that Prince Andrew comment. A lot of people must be sweating because it seems to me like Miss Maxwell was involved in a lot of people's lives, famous people's lives. You're not sweating though, right? Are you sweating, Piers? This is an article in The Spectator written by Rachel Johnson. It's hard not to pity Ghislaine Maxwell. We met briefly at Oxford. And she writes this huge article. 500 days. It's hard not to feel a bat's squeak of pity for Ghislaine Maxwell. 500 days and counting in solitary confinement. I intersected briefly with her at Oxford. As a fresher, I wandered into Balliol JCR one day in search of its subsidized breakfast granola and Nescafe offering and found a shiny glamazon with naughty eyes holding court astride a table, a high-heeled boot resting on my brother Boris's thigh. How very of her. How very. She gave me a pitying glance, but I did manage to snag an invite to her party in Headington Hill Hall, even though I wasn't in the same college as her and Boris. Anyway, who cares? Is Boris sweating? Boris Johnson probably wasn't the quarterback type up in that Oxford College University. By the way, my father went to Cambridge, so I feel at liberty to talk about Oxbridge stuff, whatever. Anyway, how did she find these people? You know, she just wants to be the voyeur of like the weirdest men in the world. But anyway, yes, we finally have a victory. What does that mean for Meghan Markle? I don't even know why I'm trying to tie this in, but what it probably means for Meghan Markle is nothing. I mean, is it going to stop her from running for president? I had a subscriber that came into my DMs on Instagram, which you're welcome to do, and I will absolutely respond to you if you do that. But she was talking about that Meghan Markle has been out and about and still allowing herself to be humiliated only because she is planning to run for president, so she doesn't want to miss a beat. I don't think Prince Andrew might actually be vindicated because, sorry, my camera died again. I just talk too much. Okay. So back in 2009, Virginia, Jeffrey signed a deal, which is basically a gag order that says that she cannot talk about anybody, including Mr. Epstein or anybody that he was associated with. And she received $500,000 for that. It was in a different court is what her lawyers are arguing or whatever, because I guess it would have been a civil court as opposed to criminal. But the point is that she did sign that, and she would have known at the time when she signed it that these things actually happened to her. So everyone feels very safe right now. Harvey Weinstein is also involved in this, and unbelievable as that is, he's also involved in this. He's also was very good friends with Mr. Epstein. But she signed this thing, and they think that's going to protect Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's lawyers not responding is very interesting, because I made a video on that before, and I was like, why aren't they responding? Like, are they serious? Like, somebody's gonna come get you. Like, you just can't just not respond. Like, they'll find you. But we didn't know this had happened in 2009, that there was this 500,000 settlement that she agreed to, knowing full well that she had all these names of people that she was accusing. And anyway, I'm sorry if I've acted out of my station this evening as a very honored judge. But I really love you guys. Thank you so much for watching me, and I hope I'm not too confusing about this. I have a lot of things I'm trying to like put together here, and I'm going to follow this as it goes on. I think yesterday Prince Andrew's lawyers would have responded in some way, having, you know, this evidence, extra evidence on board. Finally responded. So I'll be making more videos, and until next time, mwah, love you. Bye.
Over and out.
Thank you, bailiff.